Well, hi everybody. Well, we're going to do a little comparison of two folding bicycles, and I've got some pretty good experience with both of these right now. They are both by Zizzo, a company that's in the Bay Area of California. This is the Zizzo Urbano, and this one over here is basically the same, exactly the same frame. This is the Liberties, so Zizzo, and you can check these bikes out on Zizzo.bike. That's the website, not .com, but .bike, bike. So I'm going to compare these two. This one here, I've ridden a lot more. I've got, on this model, I probably have 700 miles riding on this one. And this one here, I've only got about 50 miles. The difference between these two is this one is a little, about $30, $40 more expensive. And this is more built for the road, pavement. And this one is for pavement or with a little bit wider tire that it has. It's also good on dirt trails. So first I'm going to just show you how easily these open up. You just take it, it's held together by a magnet. So you just pull it apart. Sorry, the pedal's hitting there. Lock that in its place. You bring up your seat. Bring up the handlebars. And then you have to make a couple more adjustments. And this one is folding pedals. Unfold those. I brought the seat up to the correct height. You gotta drop this down a little bit. You're gonna adjust this to a good height for you. The last thing is you need to rotate this down. Make sure these are lined up for you. And put down the kickstand. There. Get our bike ready to go. And it goes quite nice. Right back. Well, that's a nice rider bike. Rides really nice. Weighs 23 pounds, by the way. This is my trusty Urbano. Same thing. I'll show the details in this in a second. Yes, it's pointing in a different direction. Bring up my seat. And I put a little mark on the post so I know where the sweet spot for me is. This is all identical. And the pedals in this one, it came with folding pedals, but I put regular pedals on it. And I'll tell you why later. So I got this one. This one's ready to go. All these bikes go so nicely. Let's go with the details. Again, this here is the Zizzo bike This is the Liberty. This is their top of the model line. I believe it's selling right now for like $429, and they're out of stock right now because of the pandemic. People are buying bikes like crazy. So this one I just recently bought. I've only ridden this one maybe 25 miles, but twice I've ridden it up a hill, which is elevation gain about 1,200 feet over 4.5 miles, and it does great. It does great. There are a few differences. The bottom bracket is a little upgrade on this one. This one here, the Liberté, once again. This one here has quick release on both wheels. Right there. And that's the magnet you see sticking there. That's the magnet which matches up over here, so when you fold it up, these magnets hold it together. So there's the other quick release. Also on this one, it has a little bit smaller tire. This is, I guess, about 1.5 inches, maybe 1.25 inches. I think officially it's, well, it's somewhere in there. It's a little bit narrower. And it's a high pressure. It's about 110 pounds. So it's pretty hard. I pumped it up last week, and I haven't had to re-pump it, so it's been good. Now, there's a couple of things. Actually, I'm going to get the other bike out here so we can compare them right next to each other. Okay, I got the mosquitoes flying around me again. So I'm going to try to make it quick, or maybe run inside every now and then to get away. So here's the two bikes side by side. On the right is the Liberté, on the left is the Urbano. Once again, as I said, the frames themselves are identical. The tires and the wheels and the quick release on the wheels, a little upgraded on the bicycle on the right, which is the Liberté. Up on the handlebars are exactly the same except for the grips. This is the grip on the Liberté, a little bit lighter in nature right there. And the grips on the Urbano I kind of like a little bit better, a little bit more hefty right here, because I'm grabbing it from the front side. And right up here. The shifter is identical. So right there. Am I getting the shifter? I feel like I'm not. Oh, there it is. Okay. So these are both identical, as well as the derailleur in the back. And this one, oh boy, I'm being buzzed by mosquitoes again. Very bad here. The rear shifter on both bikes are identical. It's a Shimano Altus 8-speed. And Shimano Altus 8-speed. And once again, the tires on the Urbano is a 2-inch Kenda, I should say. Jeez, I'm telling you, I'm being buzzed crazy here. And the mosquitoes. That's almost 2 inches. I think it's 1.95. And this one here is probably like 1 inch or 1.5 inches. This one here is high pressure on the Liberté, 110 pounds, and this one here is just 60 pounds or so. And these flies are driving me crazy. Okay, now one thing you probably notice is the saddle's quite different. The saddle that comes with the Urbano, this is the stock saddle here. Let me come around. And this is stock saddle. Very comfortable. The stock saddle that came with the Liberté was very light. And this is it right here in my hand. Uncomfortable for me. Now, because this is all subjective. So I had a Brooks saddle downstairs on another bike, so I took that Brooks saddle off and put that on instead. This is definitely lighter, this one. But this is more comfortable. So, but I gotta tell you, the stock one on the Urbano, Surprisingly comfortable. Oh, jeez. I'm telling you, I get it. This is crazy. They're mosquitoes too. They're landing on me. Okay, I'm gonna have to bring the bikes inside. I can't go on here. Okay, hold on. Oops. So I wanted to do a side-by-side review outside because the light's much better outside. But the bugs, the mosquitoes, are just too much. I can't do it. The Liberté that's on the left weighs 23 pounds. The Urbano on the right weighs 24 pounds. The Liberté that's on the left has quick release on both the front and the rear. The Urbano, you need a wrench to take the wheel off. It does have the magnet just like the other one. And in the back, you need a wrench to take the rear wheel off. But once again, it has the magnet. So that's a little bit of a difference, especially if you get a flat tire. The two frames themselves are identical. So the frame of each bike is the same. And the exception is, I believe the hubs are a little bit upgraded once again because this one has a quick release and this one does not. But the bottom brackets are different. This one has a little bit of an upgrade on the bottom bracket, whereas the dusty Urbano over here just has a more generic type of bottom bracket, but it works just fine as far as I'm concerned. Now, they both come with folding pedals, and this is, let me get in there. This is, you just pull this out like that and it's folded. And when you're ready to go, you just put your finger in there, straighten out, and it clicks in. I do not have folding pedals on my Urbano, not because it didn't come with them, because it did, but I rode this model, not this particular bike, because this is my second Urbano. My first one I rode in New Zealand, and when my feet got wet, and I did over 500 miles in New Zealand on this model bike right here. Your feet are wet, they tend to slip off this, and my feet get wet on this one. This has got those little spikes that ruin your shoes, but it works quite nice. So I did replace the pedals. Of course, the downside is the pedals do not fold. And now, of course, the last bit is folding the bikes up. So this is the Liberté. This is the one with the folding pedals. Kick up the kickstand because the kickstand would be in the way when you try to fold it. To fold up the pedals, you just pull out. That one goes flat. Bring the other one up. Okay, the pedals are folded in. Second piece you want to do, you bring your stem up all the way until it stops. There's a stop all the way up. That way there, it will clear the axle when you fold it. Next one is you take your handlebars, loosen it, and make it so the brake levels are straight up. Right? Then you release your handlebar stem right here and just let it fall. Except to hit the pedals. Let it fall. Your seat, unloosen that, turn it backwards, then relock it. And last bit is you unlatch the hinge for the frame itself. And I find it's best to have your left pedal up around that's up here, your left pedal, and your foot, whoops, a little bit more, right there. There you go. And 23 pounds. And it's held together by that magnet pretty well. That one's ready to go. The Urbano. The Urbano is exactly the same. Except the only thing, I don't have folding pedals, so that's a step you can skip. So, same thing. Skipping the pedals. Pull up your stem all the way, relock it. Take your handlebars, loosen those. You want the brake level straight up, like that. Then you release your handlebar stem and just let it fall. And it falls right up against the wheel perfectly. Take your seat, put it down. Make sure your kickstand is up. The pedals in the same position as the other one, maybe like 1 o'clock when I'm looking at it from this direction. Under your hinge. Mosquitoes are attacking me. There we go. There we go. 2 bikes. Folded up very nicely. This one's 24 pounds. That one's 23. Except I'm guessing this one's a little bit heavier because that saddle's kind of heavy. So these are 23 pounds. Nothing to it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put this in my car here. So I put that one in the car. This one I'm going to bring in the house. And I'll bring the camera with me. That's it. Okay, well, thanks for watching. And I never made it clear which of those 2 bikes I like the best. And the one I like the best is the Urbano. That's the one with the 2-inch wide tire. And the Liberté, hey, that comes in second. And that's the one with the 1.5-inch tire. And it's quite, I think it was quite obvious that the Urbano had a much more comfortable seat. It had the wider tires, which really I need. My intention of buying that Liberté was to just use that one on the road and use the Urbano when riding like on dirt roads or rail trails and things like that. But I tell you, I've taken them both on the pavement, and on the pavement, they're the same speed. I get the same speed with the Urbano as I get with the Liberté. And that's even when I'm climbing up a good-sized hill down the road here. We have a small mountain pass. It's not really big, but it is a 1,200-foot gain. And I can do just as fast in both of those 2 bikes. So, and that's a paved road. I should point that out. That's paved. And it doesn't make really any difference. Even coming down, there's the same speed coming back down. So once again, the vote, my vote goes for the Urbano, and I should explain my experience with the bikes and why I have 2 Urbanos and 1 Liberté. I bought my first one in October of last year, which is 2019. And I was just kind of surprised. I mean, I saw it online. I just kept seeing it. I said, yeah, you know, sometime I'm going to get that bike and try that bike out. And I was really impressed with it. And we wound up going to New Zealand this past winter. We left the first week of December and got home the first week of March, right when this COVID-19 stuff was happening. And I decided to take my Urbano with me to New Zealand. I was able to take it apart a little bit more. It folds up, but I took the wheels off. I took off the derailleur, and I kind of dismantled the handlebars, and I was able to get it into a box that the airlines would let me, just killing a mosquito, the airlines would let me take for free and not charge me extra for an oversized box. So that Urbano is the one that went to New Zealand. I wound up going over 500 miles with probably 75% of that on gravel or dirt roads or dirt bike paths. And I'm telling you, I was so impressed. I was totally impressed. And so I left that bike there. It's at my wife's my stepdaughters, at my stepdaughter's house. She lives in New Zealand, lucky her. And so when I came home, I had purchased a second Urbano because now I had one in New Zealand. And when I got the Urbano, we had to wait for the snow to melt, but I took it out and it was just as good as the first Urbano. So there were two bikes that were just great. And then I came up with this wild idea. Well, why don't I get a Liberté to just ride on the pavement? And so that's why I wound up getting the Liberté to ride in the pavement. And I've only put maybe 30 miles on that one, 30, maybe 40. And you know what I discovered right away is the Liberté and the Urbano are the same on pavement. Unless if you live in a city and you're just going to ride on pavement and that's all you're going to do, I would say go ahead and get the Liberté because, you know, it does have the quick release on the wheels and does have a couple little extras. But I wouldn't want to give up those wider tires, especially when comparing those two. They are the same as far as speed and going up the hill and down the hill and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's it for this video. It's way too long, I know. And if you're still listening, good for you because I wouldn't be listening to me. So I'm just going to have a little bit here, just close-ups of the connectors. So, you know, so just look forward to that, you know, and it's kind of crappy because I'm holding the camera and trying to do it, but they're just kind of close-ups because I know when I was, you know, unfolding and folding the bikes, you know, I'm doing the clamps or the connectors and you really can't see up close what's going on. So, okay. Thank you. See ya. Have fun.